Hi, I am Katie Bodewins, and my project Wild Aquatic is mermaids and manatees. My purpose for the project is students will describe how imaginary creatures may be inspired by actual animals, and then students will be given examples on how wildlife can inspire myths. My grade level and subject. In the book, it said it would be upper elementary to middle school, and I chose upper elementary, so I chose 5th grade. And then the subject is language arts and environmental education. My background. The background I'm giving is mythical creature. It's a creature beyond normal reality and is composites of existing animals or half human, half animal. And then I would be giving them images of common sea mythical creatures. For example, I have the Kraken, the Loch Ness Monster, mermaids, and Moby Dick. And we would be and then I would go over with the class why are they mythical. For a couple of them, it is because of their abnormal size, like the Kraken and Moby Dick, and the Loch Ness Monster, or if they're half human, half animal, like mermaids. So this activity is broken into 2 days, it says in the book, which I agree with. And the first part is the students will close their eyes and they were going to imagine a mythical sea creature, and they're going to think about what they look like if it's a mermaid, if it has long hair, a fin. And then after they imagine it, they're going to talk with their elbow partner and describe and talk about their sea creature. And then they can discuss how they are similar to each other or how they are different. And then I, as the teacher, would ask the class for a couple volunteers to describe their sea creature and how that their creature would be based off of common culture, like movies, books, and TV shows. And so the main activity is going to be broken into 2 days. The first part is that the students will be put into even numbered groups or crews, and they will be given a sea creature to identify and describe. They will have to research their animal and write about what it looks like, what its habitat is, and what it eats. And everyone in their group has to write or research. So we would first introduce the topic of mythical creatures. Then we would do the imagining of mythical creatures, and they would research their animal, and that would be all on day 1. And then on day 2, they can come back with their small group and they can talk about it again and remember it. And then the beginning of day 2, their crew are going to go find another crew, and they are going to share each other's research. So when they share their research, they will not say what the animal is. They cannot say what the animal is. They just have to use what they wrote to share to the other group. And the other group would have to make a picture based on what they use to describe the animal, their habitat, and what they eat. After that, they are going to go back with each other, meet again, the 2 groups, and they are going to show each other their drawings, and they will say if it's right or not, and they'll talk about why it is right or what it's wrong, and they're going to discuss what are the main parts of the animals. And then on my next slide, the examples would be, I said for a bottlenose dolphin, I said, I have a long body with a triangle dorsal fin. I am 2.5 meters long. I have a long beak, and I am dark gray. I have a blowhole on the top of my head. I have 2 fins on the side of my body and a tail. I live in the tropical areas where I can eat fish, squid, and crustacean. So, with this, the students would have to use what they were given, what they were read to, and make a picture out of it. So in my second image, you can see a great drawing of a dolphin with the animals they eat, with the fish, squid, and crustacean. And since they live in tropical areas, I drew a little island with a great palm tree. And then they would come back and they would compare that to the actual image of the animal. So the modifications so this is for upper elementary. So for lower elementary, I thought that instead of the kids having to go and research the animal, that the teacher, I could give them an image of the animal and they could use that image to describe it. And then instead of the kids, after hearing about the animal, they can, instead of having to go and research, they can be given options about it, so they can say which ones are which. And then for the middle school, I said that they could give a presentation about their animal with more in-depth descriptions about the animal, what they eat, and what their habitat is. So maybe they could make a slideshow about what its tail looks like, if it has a dorsal fin or not, if it's what part of the ocean it lives in, where in the world it lives in. And then in high school, one of the extensions in the book is that they could write a essay comparing their animal to a mythical sea creature and how they could share similarities or the stories of it. And then for my extensions, I said students with auditory disabilities, they could read what the other group had written down and take notes that way. Instead of having to listen, they could have the piece of paper and read it and jot notes off of it. And then my second extension is students with physical disabilities can use gripping tools to help them hold the pencils. So you could put tools on pencils and that it could help them hold it and write. Or if they do not have the ability to write, they could just talk about it with their group partners. And then my final one is students who have struggles paying attention, they could have a paraprofessional help them stay on task and help them find more information. So this was my project. Thank you.